Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Dallas area baseball. Joining us is Ken Kashatus and one of his seniors who expecting a big year, Jordan McCrum, one of the best players in the Wyoming Valley and the Lackawanna Conference. Well, Coach, for you, getting outside, everybody's at the biting question. It's been tough, but nonetheless, there's some practice to be had and some baseball to be done. Tell us about what you're doing out there at Dallas.
John, to be honest, we haven't in a great situation with having our turf in the outfield this year, so we've had more good, successful workouts early probably than ever before. We've been dealing in the past with, taking ground balls in the parking lots and fly balls out there and trying to play catch between cars and stuff like that when we're doing our outside stuff. We pitch and we hit in the gym like most other teams, but even though, our field isn't playable yet for games, per se, and probably the only team in the area that is Wyoming Seminary with all turf. We're very thankful to have the situation we have. It's probably been our best practice situation in 13 years.
Well, Coach, on the field, you will return 5 starters this season, so you're pretty excited about that. Tell us about some of that talent you have for the Mountaineers.
We lost some really good, productive seniors, but yes, we do have some guys back from last year's team, and it was a team that really went through some trials and tribulations. I mean, starting the season 1-6, and just not accepting it and not phoning it in. I mean, we really worked our way out of that spot. And that's, even the guys who are returning starters that were here, that were still on the team last year for this year, I think they got a lot of experience seeing some high-pressured baseball. We had to win every game to win the division from that, after that 6th loss, and we won them all. We won 7 straight. So we have besides Jordan, we have 2 other seniors back returning starters. We have A.J. Sweppenheiser, who's an outfielder for us. He was a full-time starter last year. He led our team in doubles. He had, hit in the high 300s. He had a really nice year for us, and he batted in the 7-hole. Really gave us some production down bottom. Also, we have Benjamin Narcom. He's back. He played third for us last year. He was probably slated to play second this year. He got a little setback right now. He has a hand injury, but hopefully we feel that he can come back and still be a productive player for us this year. And he has a lot of experience. He led her as a sophomore, and he's a good on-base percentage type guy, smart base runner, powerful kid. Along with that, we have 2 juniors. We have Dave Simpson. He emerged as our starting catcher last year, and really he's a football guy. He's a linebacker. From the time he got into the lineup as a sophomore, he emerged as a team leader for us. Really worked at the craft of catching to get better as the season went along. There was no idle moments. He made every moment that he could get better. He used it to get better. He did a nice job for us. And Aaron Yurko, he ended up being our starting DH at the end of last year, and he had some really big hits in probably the game that clinched the title for us. Down 1, he was a leadoff batter, and he hit a double. The next guy hit a triple, and the next guy hit a sacrifice fly. Game over in a tie game. I'm sorry, it was a tie game. A sophomore to get that kind of experience was, in that kind of spot and deliver was a big deal. So he's going to play corner infield spot for us this year. And then we have Jordan McCrum. Just a little bit about Jordan before you speak with him, John. He came to our school halfway through his freshman year, and he was good enough to be probably playing varsity. And I didn't know how much he was going to get a chance to pitch with our level. And I knew down the road, from just seeing him a little bit work out, I knew he was going to be a pitcher. He was going to need to pitch for us to be good. And I knew he was going to have to be one of those guys as he emerged, as he grew older in the program. But then we had a kid get injured. And, I was past the deadline to bring a guy up. And we had other guys at that spot. So he ended up playing his freshman year, on the freshman team, and he was the best player by far. He was our main pitcher, and he played shortstop and everything else. But we could have probably used him that year as well. But nonetheless, he sort of won the starting job coming into his sophomore year, and just some of his credentials that he has done. You'll talk to him about. He's committed to play at Monmouth University on scholarship as an infielder and pitcher. He's a Wyoming Valley Conference coaches selection, all scholastic first team last year. Prep Baseball Report, he's top 10 prospects in Eastern Pennsylvania high school baseball. He's a preseason high school perfect game honorable mention. He led our team as a pitcher in innings, strikeouts, complete games, and wins. And we had some other good pitchers on the staff that well, but in those categories, he was our best guy. And the thing that I like he takes criticism so well for a guy that's such a good seasoned baseball player. And, he's able to play other sports, but he wanted to focus on baseball. And, he was probably a better player because of that. But, he's a good sportsman. He likes all the other games as well. But he can really, he can give quality, productive criticism to other guys and help them get better as players. So, like I mentioned to him, I needed a little help from him tonight, sort of doing things as a coach would. And he did that at our practice tonight. And that's the kind of individual he is.
Well, he needs no introduction after that. Let's welcome in Jordan McCrum, the senior at Dallas. Coach Kenny Kashatus telling us all the great things about you, Jordan. Well, you could throw 92. We don't know what you throw. You could be an all-star selection, a top 10 prospect. When somebody says he takes criticism well, I'll take that kid any day, Jordan. Talk about your ability to be so mentally strong and be able to learn from experiences. Where do you gather that information from? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, growing up, I played behind a shortstop in Little League. That was very good, and I always liked to try to get better any way I could. And then working up through the high school system, learning behind Greg Torp, who's a good player. I always liked taking criticism from him, trying to get better any way I could. So I try to help kids, sophomores, juniors that are playing the same position, and I want to see them grow into the shoes that I like fill in that stuff.
Being a senior and having that leadership ability, and I'm sure Coach may refer to you from time to time as a coach on the field, but as you said, you may take that well. Talk about doing the little things right and all the philosophies that Coach Kashatus has there at Dallas.
Yeah, Coach, the philosophies he has is to always play the game hard and do the little things and throw strikes, make the routine plays. Don't try to make the incredible play. Just make the routine play, and it'll keep us in the games at all times.
Jordan, for you, the recruiting process. Coach mentioned, hey, you've decided on Monmouth University. Tell us about some of the other schools that were in the mix and why you decided to head over to Monmouth.
At the beginning of last summer, there was a couple schools interested in me, and I, as the summer went along, I narrowed them down to Wagner University in New York, Hartford, Seton Hall, and Monmouth. And after my visit to Monmouth and Wagner, I played a tournament down in Monmouth, and I knew that was the place to go to. So once they offered me, there was no need to consider those other schools anymore.
Jordan, how about the academic component? Obviously, you got to be a heck of a student. All the schools you mentioned are pretty darn good academically. Tell us about what you're going to study and how well you do in the classroom.
I always take the classroom very seriously. Coach Kashatus stresses academics first. You need to be very well in the classroom to play on the team, and if you are failing any classes, you're going to be ineligible. So I know that I have to work hard in the classroom before I get ready for baseball practice, and classroom's always first.
How about taking the ball on the mound? I'm sure that's something you look forward to all the time. Tell us about being in control and being out there and in command.
Pitching's a great thing. I like trying to lead my team out every game on the mound, and not trying to do too much, but I like the idea of being in control and trying to lead the team to a win every game.
Jordan, how about the shortstop position as well? Again, one of those things that you're looked at as one of the leaders on the team. Tell us about some of the other infielders and some of the guys on the team. And I know Coach touched on it a little bit, but I'm sure you're able to see some of those underclassmen working hard and vying for positions right now.
Yeah, of course. Christo Huntington, first baseman. He's a great player. He's willing to work hard. He's in the cage every day. Sophomore, he's very good. Lefty, Aaron Yurko, Coach Kashatus talked about him earlier at third base. He works hard too, always open to criticism. Junior, and there's a bunch of sophomores fighting for a second base spot as Ben Narkham is out with the hand injury right now.
Jordan McCrum here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Jordan, as the season gets underway here in the Wyoming Valley Conference, talk about some of the goals that you have for the team this year for Dallas. Again, it's a one-game approach, I'm sure, but ultimately you guys would like to have a nice run like you really put together at the end of last year.
Yeah, of course. Any season like that would be great, but we're trying to take it game by game and not look too far into the future and try to win each game as it comes by. Not taking any team too easily. Stressing that every team can beat you any day, so taking every game by game.
Well, Jordan, we wish you well in your future endeavors and hope you enjoy your upcoming holiday.
Thank you.
Coach Kashatus, for you, the competition in the Wyoming Valley Conference expected to be pretty stiff as always, and I'm sure you're out there ready to go and looking forward to it.
Oh, we are. Our division with Berwick coming in this year, there are no cupcakes in our division. All good programs, all great guys leading the program, from Gary Kestritz on Canic, Brian Pinnerich, at Berwick, Brian Gorski at Lake Lehman, and Ronnie Musto at Wyoming area. He's been around the block a few times, as you know him pretty well. I respect all of them as baseball guys, and they all run great programs, and I'm looking forward to the competition when we get to play them twice, during the year. And the crossover games are going to be, tough as always. You have a Hazleton team, loaded with guys returning from a team that won a district title. And you have a Valley West team with a lot of guys who played on a Legion state title team or on that roster. And, I don't want to make light of any of the other teams in that division, but anytime you play a school that's bigger than you enrollment-wise, it's always a challenge. And, it's going to be every game's a dogfight. You could win every game if you play well. You could lose every game if you don't do enough to win.
Kenny Kashatus, of course, working hard there at Dallas with his players as they're going to be hitting the field pretty soon. Well, we wish Kenny and, of course, Jordan McCrum the best here on the John Mendola Show. Dallas Mountaineers Baseball. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.